guys, I should be live. Hi and welcome to the stream of Dead Stranding. not the game itself, but my commentary on it and what do I think about it. And I really wanted to do a video about this particular game. There were several trailers that came out, and I just wanted to, give my 2 cents about it. It's one of those games that well, there's not enough said, maybe, especially till now. And what do you know about the game overall? It's absolutely nuts, first of all. And yeah, well, we do have a lot of talk about now. It's 11:30 my time, and that is the reason because that is the reason why I don't have a camera at the moment. I just cannot prepare everything in this time frame. It's just impossible. It's too late at the moment. I learned my lesson from my previous streams, especially on Sunday. If I do a stream, I'm just a total waste of a person after that. It just takes too long to go to bed after that, so it's just not healthy. It's no use just for the use of the camera. All the preparation that goes into that, it just takes too much time. So it's better to have a video or a stream about something that I really wanted to do for a long time rather than have nothing. So yeah guys, didn't want to wait till Monday because I didn't really had any videos since I did my Cleopatra basically makeup cosplay with Lexi, which was awesome. If you haven't checked that, you can of course go to my channel and see it. But anyway guys, I'm looking forward to make more gaming content in terms of gaming trailers, reviews, and what I think about particular game before it comes out. Then that's going to turn into a review later on. So I'm trying to take it one step at a time and not really overwhelm myself with too much, because I already have so many ideas and things that I always wanted to do. But when I have so many ideas that I always wanted to do, I just get overwhelmed, because I also have to go to work and train and all of that. So if I want to do something, I just have to take it one by one. So this is like a first step for me to make like more gaming content that I can manage with time and everything. So hi A Gaming to you. Yeah, hi to you. And on that note, guys, for the Bulgarian fans, I'm going to be streaming every Wednesday at 8:30 till 10 Bulgarian time on Twitch. That Eastern European time for you. And right now, by that same time, it's 11:30. So I'm going to try to keep this schedule Bulgarian gaming streams at 8:30 on Wednesday, because on Wednesday I don't really go to movies. I don't really do other things that are kind of conflicting with that time particularly. I try to space my content overall in a manner that is not going to be that tougher to sustain for me, although it's still tough overall. But I think that I'll be able to do that, and I do want to have some kind of a content on Twitch and try to grow that, because I always neglected Twitch as much as possible. I want to concentrate on YouTube, but you know how YouTube is. It tries to cut you down on every step of the way, basically. So yeah, it makes things even harder and harder and harder and harder. But anyway, guys. So now that's trending. That's trending. What do I think about this game? Well, first, from everything that I saw that we're seeing now with these trailers, all the materials that came out, this looks like a freaking crazy game, guys. It does. The story is like a mishmash. I don't really know what to make of it yet. Of course, nobody knows about the game and what it's really going to be like. Maybe I'm going to make the volume a bit less so you can hear me better. So nobody really knows what this game is going to be fully about. Of course that's the case. They're not going to go out and say like, oh well, here is every story element that is in this game. Of course not, but it's hard to make it up. First, what we know so far is that we do have this future that does not look good for humanity. That's one, that's like the basis of it. Then we see that the connection with the other side, which is basically the world after we die, is a lot more prominent, and the other side is able to bleed into our physical world in some way. As you can see here, those black figures, so that's like seeing the other side mixing literally with our world. If you had the senses to see that, you'll probably see similar stuff, but not as cohesive as and as defined that we see here. But of course, this is a game, so everything has to be more dramatic than it actually is. Let's just say that. Okay, Kratos. So yeah, the game at first looks mind-blowingly amazing overall because it's so new. It's definitely unique. Freaking weird. Like this thing here. Like, what the heck is happening here? My brain starts to like try to mix. Try to somehow put it together, make some kind of a sense of it, which is very very hard to do when you don't know what's actually happening. I understand that the game will have such structure that some choices could be either bad or good, depending on how you decide to perceive things in the world. So not everything is going to be objectively good or bad. Some things are going to be left up to your ways of playing and how you actually perceive this world. So that's very, very interesting. I don't know how they are doing this in terms of technologically, mechanically, but it's extremely, extremely, corresponds, you can say, with how life works. So essentially, I think that what Kojima is trying to do here is to present, let's say, some kind of a fictional story, but again, he is also taking elements from what maybe he thinks is how life works, and what maybe he thinks, how events could be in the future if something that we cannot now even think about could happen. And a lot of writers, a lot of just creative people overall, when they create stories, they always take something from their lives, or from what they've read, from their impressions of the world, of their belief systems, and when they combine that with their fantasy, something amazing could be created from that. The only thing that, I mean, it's not like the only thing, but let's say that the major thing, because I know Kojima's style, that kind of worries me is that it's going to be so crazy, so nuts, that people are going to be just confused and weirded out, and me included, and not going to get through the story or be patient enough, because again, Kojima did say that after 50% of the game, when you're like finished 50% of it, you then start to have fun, because you already be established as a character. You already have enough things in your inventory, and you have, most importantly, you have a good idea of the world and what you're actually doing and trying to achieve. And that is again extremely interesting, but in our busy lives, I don't know how many people have the time for that. Many people that don't really have social lives will take the patience. I don't know. I mean, if you give money for a game, you should do your best to finish it somehow. Although sometimes there's just so many bad games, but I do think that this at least is going to be extremely solid game that we just never seen before. I really do believe that we never seen before, and just the looks of it, it's freaking amazing. I don't know what the heck's happening here, but it's so freaking creepy. That doesn't mean it's not gonna be interesting, but it's kind of like anime. You either like anime or you don't really like anime. I'm personally could be somewhere, in between. For instance, I like Death Note. I watched the whole show, I mean, all the episodes. And I did like something else in the past, just don't remember what it was exactly. But the point is that anime could, be very, how to say, to put you off in the sense when you see the style, how everything is just so overly dramatic or something else. So there is a bit of that here, I think. And when you don't know what's going on, everything's just looks too weird. But sometimes, if the game is explained well, you're not going to feel that it's too weird or too whatever you feel that it is, and you actually be immersed in this world. So I'm just hoping, I'm getting to the point here that I want to be immersed into this world. I want the game to suck me in, and I want, for the game to, make me not want to stop playing it. That's very important. So you can, have these impressions that, oh gosh, I just don't understand this right now, and it looks so nuts and confusing. Just looks like so many ideas thrown, into the screen, and between themselves, at first glance, they just don't make that much of a sense. But of course they don't, because we don't really know about the whole thing and the story. On the other hand, the more that I learn about the game, when I see this footage, which now we got to the older footage, I just get how, when... My apologies, guys. Of course, I'm sleepy, this time. So, if, the other side is mixed with our world, the creatures, so to speak, the spirits, or how they are called here, they're going to be able to canalize, that's a word, energy into the physical world eventually, because they're both both worlds are getting intertwined. So laws of both worlds are also getting intertwined, which means that we are going to see freaking chaos. Wow, what the heck is that? And all kinds of weird stuff, because the both worlds are not supposed to be mixing the way that they're mixing, and anomalies of all kinds of uh, creatures or anomalies in general are going to be created out of nothing. Something that did not exist before now will exist, in a way that nobody can anticipate. So that's so interesting when you think about it. And Kojima really has the craziest imagination maybe that I've seen from a game creator. We definitely have to give him that. Yeah, the first yeah, Kratos says the first few hours of the game will be figured out what it's about. Well, I do think that it's going to be like the first maybe 20 hours. At least again, that is what I think Kojima said. I'm not sure if he specifically mentioned exact hours, but he did say like halfway of the game. After halfway, you actually start to have fun. That really kind of worries me, guys. Really, really does. That thing with the baby is just the weirdest thing ever. But yeah, it looks like it's just a dream. It's not physically real. But also, you're going to, I mean, as this character that you see here, you're going to be carrying this baby all over the place. You're going to have cargo on your bag that's basically with the size, I mean, it's going to become with the size of a brick house. It's just so big. You're not going to have as much as combat as you think, because the world is not supposed to be about combat. It's supposed to be about basically rebuilding and helping to stabilize the world or something like that, and we're going to be able to play throughout the whole America. At least what I gathered, at least what I know. If that is the case, I don't know. I mean, I really can't imagine a map as big as America. It's probably not going to be a real size because that's insane. I'm not sure that's possible in a single player game. I'm really not sure. Uh, well, we'll see. I mean, I don't want to talk out of my butt, out of my fitness butt. Yeah, no, but 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 not intended here. But it's nuts. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't know how they're gonna do it. I watched another uh, trailer, uh, and then I mean, in this trailer we see the president, which is a woman that says that she's on the beach, like the body's on the beach, but she is here as a hologram. This is again, I don't know how to, what to make of that exactly, and that's why she doesn't age, which again, don't know what to make of it because the beach may be a metaphor for something else. Hey, hi Steven. Wow, hi Steven. Hi, I'm very happy to see you. Yeah. So, so guys, there's so many interesting concepts here. When we first saw the game, uh, my first impression, at least back then, I was like, wow, this looks so weird. I'm not sure if I'm gonna like this. Well, of course, you never know, but a lot of famous actors here, actors, and they're capturing their performance like so well. I'm really excited to see how this game is made. I really am. Like, what the heck is this, guys? Like, there's and again so many elements. We see those soldiers that are like Skeletor soldiers, and we see all of those nasty creatures. How is that even fitting into the real world in terms of what kind of a creatures have been created? It's just wow. I mean, it's 2019. We've seen so many things now. You know, we've seen so many ideas, movies. This is still very original. I mean, this still feels very original to me. Yeah. And as creepy as it is, if there's some kind of a good explanation behind it, reasoning, I'm all up for it as long as it makes sense. I don't want to be like so convoluted you can't even follow the story, and then it's not gonna be fun. It's not gonna be interesting if it doesn't make sense. Definitely, it's not going to be interesting. So it's an art to tell a very cohesive story that you can follow, and at the same time, it could be complicated. It could have a lot of elements, but if it's written right, it's going to be the backbone of this game, and in general, and that is going to be the backbone of any story and art form, whether that be a game or a movie. So this is very important. So if there's a lot of metaphors in terms of like symbolism of what, like, versus this sewer mean, or what the water means, and what the baby doll mean, we also have a lot of things to think about. So that's very interesting. Again, I do think that there's symbolism here. And just look at the freaking graphics here. The graphics. I don't know what kind of an engine this is, actually. I can't recognize it. Wait. I think it's the same that's used in Metal Gear Solid 5, but I have to check. So this is one of the best gaming engines in terms of, you know, you see how the water it is. I mean, the moisture on the clothes, fabrics, Skin, yeah, I could say skin. Not the most detailed though, but overall everything looks very 3D. It pops out of the screen, has depth of field, definitely. Well, they captured Matt Mikkelsen's likeness just perfectly. And when we see that, gameplay, the most recent one when our character, I forgot his name right now, but when he was like walking around, sorry about that footage, it's gonna go back a bit, walking around like this, but just during the day, it was so real. Like, look at this, look, yeah, I meant this. It's so real. Real as possibly could be, for a game, before the PS5 comes along. It's incredible. This is really incredible. I don't think, we see so many things. This is gross, God. We already see so many amazing graphics, like from Naughty Dog with Uncharted and The Last of Us 1 and now 2. But in terms of how, the grass looks, and when he walks through the world, it looks like we are watching a movie, you know? This here, it looks like we're watching a movie almost. It's like almost is not a game. That particular thing. Well, the character still moves as a character, of course, but it's like still everything that moves on the character, the way that the light falls on his back, his brick house, like I like to call it, you know, it looks just, well, photorealistic again to the closest they can get it. I don't know how the PS4 is gonna even processes this. How is this possible? I just really like to know how this engine is so optimized. And like when he moves here, when he walks here, it looks very artificial and wooden. It doesn't look that good when he walks, this particular scene here. I can just get to there. Yeah, details on the skin, just not good. This again, this is just footage. We're seeing it at least 5 times as worse, comparing what it's actually going to look like in the game on your awesome TVs. When you see it on a full HD TV, or if the game can support 4K, this is going to look at least like 5-6 times more detailed. Everything on YouTube is highly compressed, and it's not a real representation of the game. It's definitely not, but you can still see the depth, and you can get an idea, how water looks like, or in general, but really the skin is the one thing that stands out. It's not that good, but at least the expressions and animations of the characters is absolutely whoa. Yeah, it's very lifelike. You can say lifelike is a good, very good way to describe it. And I can only imagine, guys, I can only imagine right now, like literally what the PS5 is going to be able to bring. What I heard just like maybe 2 days ago about the amazing realism and the perfect aliasing. Nothing shimmers, nothing just blinks. Everything is so like unbelievably detailed, and it still functions perfectly. I can only imagine, because this now, it's absolutely mind-blowing to me. And again, I've seen so many amazing graphics. Today I played Spider-Man, and Spider-Man has one of the best graphics that I ever see. I'm just gonna pause it here for a sec. That it really, the aliasing is absolutely perfect. You don't see anything on the character. You don't see like edges on Spider-Man, like, and sometimes you play even a more modern game and you see someone's head be a bit like with edges. It's just ridiculous. Yeah. And even if you zoom on his suit, you can take photo modes of Spider-Man, all of that. You see like perfectly textured costume, and just muscles, how they made everything's textures on the buildings. Spider-Man is one of the, one of the crowding. Sorry about the, I'm sleepy, but one of the most top achievements in graphics till now. It really is. And this game, just look at the fuzz on the rocks and the mud, and her suit and the materials, and actually her hair from afar looks amazing. Really like fluffy. It gives this impression how it's fluffy and light, how hair is when it's clean and all of that. And the costumes, I mean the clothes, I won't say they look real. Uh, they look good. Like Angry Joe says, that looks good. That look good. But it still looks very hard, plasticky. Well, maybe it's supposed to be hard and plasticky. I mean, those costumes sure are to isolate the person that's wearing them. From the outside world. So of course they are. I mean that. Um, they look too, how to say this, too hard, maybe something like that. Oh, again, I mean, I still, know some people that have no idea that YouTube compresses games. So, like for instance, I have one friend that always plays only PC, and he's like, consoles, they don't look that good. Well, actually, they do. They do look that good, especially when you look at them on your TV. If your TV is very good, like mine is, yeah, it's not 4K, but it's the best Full HD TV that you can get, basically. You see the game, when you see the game in first person, it looks actually better than a lot of games on PC just because of the TV. I mean, the TV screen is just better than your monitor. Whatever monitor you buy, your TV is probably going to be better. So it looks a lot more crisp, detailed. It's like Super AMOLED or whatever my screen was. The blacks are more black and all of that. So everything just more with higher contrast without looking blown out or anything like that. So I'm yet to see a monitor with the quality of my TV. Oh, well, yeah. But anyways, so the point is that everything that you play on the PS4, for instance, Pro, is going to look amazing if the game is done and optimized for this particular hardware, the way that sometimes they just can't do it, in the same way for PC, because everybody has different configurations. Of course, you can take your graphics and put them to a 10, and that definitely is going to surpass the PS4. Like on the PS4 game that's also available on PC. On PC you can run it on Ultra, let's say. On PS4 it's going to be by default on medium settings, let's just say. But just as the TV quality, the TV screen really makes a huge difference. So me as a PC player that I've played PC games for, well, yeah, a lot of years now, basically, and somebody that also loves consoles, I don't really ever felt like I was, you know, playing some kind of an inferior version on the consoles. Well, at least for most of the time, especially since I have PS4, because previously when I had PS3, yeah, it was kind of a different story, especially with Assassin's Creed, let's say 3. I finished that on PS3, and then I finished that on PC, and definitely looked better on PC, but back then I had another TV, so there's that. And that's another thing. But basically, guys, to finish this stream and video about Death Stranding, I'm actually very excited for this game, and which surprises me as well. Because as I said, I'm usually not very into such weird stuff. But from other hand, this is just like first glance impressions that are totally not objective for real, because I don't know what the game is actually going to be like. The only thing that I really, I could be like super against that I would definitely not like if the game is like um, Red Dead Redemption. I know that a lot of people love Red Dead, the new one, but I just can't stand these gameplay mechanics that are so real that actually they're not at all, because you have to feed your horse every step of the way, like literally minutes after a few minutes again, then you have to feed yourself. You're dying out of hunger or something else 5 seconds after you already ate something, and your horse has some kind of a problem after more 5 minutes, and you can't just go with the horse and through a hill because it's going to trip and fall and it's going to be hurt, and you have to look after it. So you're more taking the time to look after yourself and your horse and your camp rather than playing actual main missions and focusing yourself on enjoying the story. So that is what I just couldn't stand in Red Dead, and that's why I sold the game. The other thing is where you travel with your horse instead of just really traveling with your horse. There's a cutscene like in the middle of the travel and just watching from afar, like you're watching a Quentin Tarantino's movie. You know how the horse is just like tuk 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 tuk, through the river, through the whatever you know place you're going. So those are the things that really, really, as a player, I don't want in a game. I just want something like, let's say, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, where if you want, you go to a shop, upgrade your armor and weapons and so on. Everything that you pick when you're going through the world, if you want to pick a tree, you know, a rock from the ground so you can build something else later on, you can do that. If you want to upgrade your ship, you can do that. You can buy materials for that. But it's not like mandatory to go and to fix something on your horse, on yourself. Your armor doesn't break or wear out after 5 minutes or at all, actually. Just having fun, the game is long enough. I already put into it for 86 hours and I enjoyed every minute of it. Well, there's like some annoying things, of course, in Assassin's Creed, especially when it's a Ubisoft game. There's not perfect anything, but it's really one of my favorite games, and for the most part, they get it right. Like for instance, there was last stream that I finished last week, I was fighting a whole fortress of soldiers, and that was not enough. So the game decided to bring a mercenary that also had a bear animal with them that attacked me in the middle of a fortress. And I was like, what the heck? There's a bear here? Like, what? That's another story, but the point is that I just loved how the game RPG mechanics were made in Assassin's Creed. Totally satisfied with the crafting, with the building of how your character looks like, of the weapons variety. Mm, well, I could have used more armor variety. I mean, I just love to have an armor variety in general. Yeah, but the point is, guys, that RPG elements and how you function in a gaming world should not be the same how you should function in the real world unless you want to play Sims or something. Or you just have to at least have this setting, if you want more realism or less realism. If you want to eat every 5 seconds or not eat every 5 seconds and not fix your horse. Like in car games, you can choose your car now whether or not you want to be wear down and really broken if you hit something ever so slightly, or you want the damage to be only cosmetic so you can actually keep driving because you know that you're not going to be like perfect and you're going to hit every freaking tree or street sign or whatever the first 5 minutes till you used to the controls or whatever. I'm just giving you like examples that's exactly the same, but the point is that if you have this option to choose how much realism you want to have in the game, uh, in Red Dead that could be again just not eating and not cooking, or just cooking from time to time at least, you know, to lower the amounts of cooking, and and the horse not to be ill all the time, or just break, just or to not want to go when you want it to go. So you actually have to live your real life and not to deal with that in games. I don't think you should, you know. And again, if you do want to deal with that, make an option. Just make the freaking option in the game, and that's it. I would have played Red Dead if all of those gameplay elements were not in the game, because it took me so long to uh you know so long to just get to freaking mission uh when I had to eat every 5 seconds. It's ridiculous. And by the time I already do all of that, I'm already lost interest in the story and what the heck, what was happening in the first place. Which, I to the game for the game to not make me interested in what's happening with the characters. Why am I even playing it? So yeah, that's basically a rant about Red Dead. But the point stands. I don't want Death Stranding to be that. I just wanted to, you know, every single thing that you have to do with your character to not be that crazy. Of course, I see that he's carrying a lot of stuff. He has to bring them from point A to point B, and if you have to, to stop every 5 seconds to just bandage your ass for some reason, no. No, no, no. It's gonna get annoying real quick, real fast, and you're not going to be able to enjoy the world or your character, or brush his teeth. And I did saw that he can pee. Again, what is the application of that? I don't know. But we'll see, guys. So that is it. Thank you very much, guys, for watching. Hi, James. I'm sorry that you came a bit late, but you really have to go. I'm already 7 minutes streaming too much than what I had to stream, so I have to go to bed. So yeah, super excited actually for Death Stranding. I can't wait to see what it is. If I can't somehow get it, if I can't get it through a donation or something else, I would definitely not be able to buy it, because I already gave money for freaking Ghost Recon, which is I just did that like a week ago, and just can't do it in a few weeks again, fortunately. So I will wait the reviews, gather money, see if this is for me, and if I can buy it, I will buy it, and that is it. And of course, if somebody can donate it, I would appreciate that, and I will stream it, and so on. So that is it, guys. That's the situation. I know, of course, what you think in the comments about Death Stranding. Are you excited about the game? What do you think about all the weirdness of Kojima? What do you think about the mind-blowing graphics and overall length of the game? Very interested in that, to see how long is this game. Maybe 20 hours if it's like, story only, like who knows. But yeah, I'm interested. I'm interested in everything about it. Yeah, that is it, guys. Have a great new week, and hope I see you very soon. And of course, for the Bulgarian fans, every Wednesday stream between 8:30 and 10. For now, like that. We'll see if I can handle more in the future, but for now, that's gonna be the schedule. And bye, guys. Kisses from me as always, although you can't see me. Bye bye. Bye, Kratos. Bye, Nikki. Bye. Mwah.